Hello there. Welcome back to Superhero Explained. Before we start, please like and subscribe. It helps push my videos to new viewers who might dig this stuff too. I really appreciate every single one of you who takes the time to do that. It means the world to me. Now let's get back to it. Today we're going to be ranking all the Hulks, or at least the all 23 variations of them that I could dig up based on their strength. So let's get started. First up is Lyra. Lyra is the daughter of Hulk and Thundra from Earth 8009. Fun fact, unlike the regular Hulk that gets stronger the more angrier they get, Lyra actually gets weaker the angrier she gets, and stronger the more calm she is. She is a decent fighter, but in terms of pure strength, I think she's probably one of the weakest Hulks out there. So I'm gonna place her in D tier for now. Next up we have A-Bomb, or Rick Jones. So Rick was mutated into the blue gamma form by questionable experiments, and he talks a big game, but he was soundly beaten by the Red Hulk. He looks badass, and he has the occasional shining moments here and there, but in terms of pure strength, I would have to place him in D tier. Up next we have the Guild Hulk. So this is an interesting one. Guild Hulk doesn't really have a physical body or manifestation. It's more of a representation of Bruce Banner's inner self-loathing and self-hatred. And when we get a few chapters of the Hulk comics that explore the mind of Bruce Banner, Guild Hulk is fairly strong enough, pretty much holds its own against multiple other versions of Bruce Banner, but again, in the end, is soundly beaten and defeated and sealed away. So I'm gonna place him in C tier. And now we have She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters. I know what you're thinking about the TV series, but let's just ignore it for the moment and focus on the comic book version. Fun fact, She-Hulk in the comics broke the fourth wall way before Deadpool. Pretty much about 10 years before Deadpool even existed in the comics. Other than that, in terms of her fighting strength, she is a decent fighter. She often uses weapons, but in terms of pure strength, she's okay-ish, so I'm gonna just place her in B tier. Immediately after that, we have the Red She-Hulk, or Betty Ross, General Ross's daughter. She was somehow revived and gamma mutated by the MODOK and Leader, and though she is okay-ish in terms of her fighting strength, based on pure strength alone, she is not nearly as strong as She-Hulk, at least in the comics. So I'm gonna place her in the B tier just after the original She-Hulk. Up next we have Amadeus Cho, also known as the Totally Awesome Hulk. Amadeus Cho is also known as the 8th most smartest person in the Marvel Universe, though that is definitely debatable. He basically found a way to transform into the Hulk and back to his human form at will. Also, he stays in full control even when he is in his Hulk form. And I think that slightly depreciates his full potential or raw power when he's a Hulk. And based on his feats, I'm gonna place him in B tier after the She-Hulks. And now we have the Red Hulk, or General Ross. So the Red Hulk has had quite some impressive feats. He has fought the Hulk one-on-one pretty much on even grounds multiple times. He has also punched Uatu the Watcher and absorbed Thor's energy at one point. But even then, like in most stories, Hulk eventually wins, and it's usually with raw strength. So for now, I'm gonna place the Red Hulk in A tier. Next up we have Scar, the son of Hulk and Kyra on the planet Sakaar. So basically sort of abandoned or lost at birth. He grew up in the jungles of Sakaar fighting like pretty much anything and everything just to stay alive. He has quite a bit of raw power and sometimes often on comparable levels with the original Hulk. And for that reason, I'm gonna place him in the A tier. Now we're gonna explore one of the alternate versions of Hulk, mainly in the one in House of M storyline. So in House of M, Hulk rules a dystopian Australia where he has his original might, but he also has multiple leadership qualities and plenty of intelligence to back it up as well. He still gets into a lot of fight. He still wrecks up pretty much anything and everything. But given the scale of powers we have seen from other versions of the Hulk, I'm gonna place him at the top of B tier. Up next, we have the Hulk from the Old Man Logan series, where Hulk becomes a cannibal, has his own clan with lots of inbreeding. And while most of the Hulks in the clan are total pushovers and get massacred by Wolverine, the original Hulk still stands up to him just as well, even eats Wolverine at one point. Unfortunately, Wolverine regenerates inside his stomach and then pops out like a chestbuster from Alien. But in terms of pure strength, I think I'm gonna place him in B tier right before the House of M Hulk. The next one is a bit sad. It's Hulk the End. So basically this Hulk has survived a nuclear apocalypse. He is the only human or Hulk remaining in the world. He spends his day walking across desolate wastelands and fighting giant mutated flying cockroaches. Yeah. Anyways, that's still an impressive feat, like living in a desolate wasteland, fighting on a daily basis with giant flying cockroaches and still being alive. He still retains his original Hulk strength, and for that reason I'm gonna put him on the top of A tier. Up next is the Hulk from Marvel Zombies, and in case you haven't heard already, Marvel Zombies animation is coming out soon, I think. So that will be something to look forward to, hopefully. So basically this is just Hulk but zombie. He does, however, bite and eat Galactus, so that's an impressive feat. But given that he is a zombie basically now, he doesn't quite retain his original fighting strength, I would say. So I'm gonna place him in B tier for now, near the top. Up next we have the Maestro. So this version of Hulk is basically twisted by trauma, but very intelligent, very cunning, very smart, and also has constant radiation feeding him. He is extremely strong, and his cunning makes him a pretty much unbeatable foe. So I'm gonna place him in the S tier. Next up we have another psychological or mental version of the Hulk called the Devil Hulk. So basically the Devil Hulk represents all the repressed rage and hate inside Bruce Banner and is part of his psyche. He takes on multiple full-fledged versions of the Hulk inside his mind, but is ultimately defeated simply by Bruce Banner learning to control his emotions. So I would say that's not a very strong Hulk in the end, and I'm gonna place him in the C tier. Now we have the Grey Hulk, or Joe Fixit, an alternate personality of Bruce Banner, lives in Las Vegas, acts like a typical mobster, enforcing his empire using weapons. He is plenty strong in terms of physical strength. He has fought the Thing on pretty much even grounds, but I would say he is nowhere near strong enough to the original Hulk or other versions of it. So I'm gonna place him at the bottom of C tier. Now we move on to Professor Hulk. So in comics, Professor Hulk comes to being when Banner, Grey Hulk, and Savage Hulk are merged together by Doc Samson. This version of Hulk retains Hulk's strength, but also amplifies it with Banner's intellectual capabilities, making him a decent foe. However, this Professor Hulk is slightly averse to violence. He prefers to resolve problems in a more intellectual capacity. And for that reason, I'm gonna place him in B tier. The next one often gets confused with Professor Hulk, and it's called Doc Green. So the key difference here is Doc Green is created when Bruce Banner suffers a horrible head injury and has brain damage, and Tony Stark uses the Extremis virus to cure the Hulk, and this results in him being hyper smart. Not Bruce Banner level smart, even smarter, way smarter, and unpredictable. And for that reason, I think Doc Green belongs in the B tier above Professor Hulk and maybe House of M Hulk as well. Now we move on to the Savage Hulk, or the Incredible Hulk, or the OG, the original Hulk. Born from a gamma bomb incident, this is the Hulk most people know and love. He gets stronger the angrier he gets, and technically there is no cap to how much stronger he can get. He has fought and often beaten the strongest heroes and villains the Marvel Universe has had to offer. So I think that earns him a solid spot in the S tier. Up next we have Klah. That's basically Hulk spelled backwards, K-L-U-H. This is like a secondary mutation of Hulk when he gets really sad and depressed, and that personality takes over. So still extremely strong, have beaten multiple heroes and villains in fights, but I would still say the sadness limits his full potential. So I'm gonna place Klah on the A tier. Now we have the Green Scar Hulk. This Hulk was created when he was mistakenly dropped off on the planet Sakaar, was captured, forced to be a gladiator on that planet, and eventually becomes the king of the planet Sakaar. Extremely strong, has tactical intelligence, an extremely formidable opponent. I think that places him on the top of A tier. And when we talk about Green Scar, we have to talk about the Worldbreaker Hulk. This is when Hulk lost control of his powers after the destruction of the planet Sakaar, basically his homeland at this point. His rage reaches unprecedented heights, and so does his strength, where single kicks or punches from him are strong enough to shake up the entire planet. For that reason, I'm placing him at the top of S tier. Up next we have the Immortal Hulk, another strong contender for the top spot. Immortal Hulk basically resurrects every night, and one key differentiating factor here is, unlike other Hulks, Immortal Hulk has an edge of cruelty or ruthlessness that is quite frankly unmatched. If we're talking in terms of pure strength, I think he is still slightly below the Worldbreaker Hulk. Next up we have Null, Breaker of Worlds. So not to be confused with the Worldbreaker Hulk, this is a Hulk that's boosted by Asgardian magic, is hammer wielding, and can speak fluent Asgardian. Often known as the god of fear and destruction, he is quite insanely strong. However, I don't think his top feats match those that of Worldbreaker Hulk or Immortal Hulk. I think he deserves a spot in A tier, probably right after the Green Scar Hulk. And finally, we have the Titan Hulk, known as the Hulk's Hulk. So if you can imagine the Hulk being an average person, and then they Hulk out, that's what you get in Titan Hulk. There is absolutely no limit to his power. He can shatter reality and dimensions with his punches and kicks, and it's hard to imagine anyone or anything being able to stand up to the Titan Hulk. So for that only, I think he deserves the top spot on this list. And that's basically the tier list of all the Hulks. Let me know what you think about it. Please do remember to like, subscribe, and comment which Hulk is your favorite or which one you think is the strongest. And as always, I'll see you next time on Superhero Explained.